All right, y'all, come on in. Today we're going to be reviewing this Boudoir Facebook ad right here. And I'm going to be reviewing it for my normal, 10 mistake framework, where I've been able to take some other Boudoir Facebook ads on my own, fix the mistakes, and, 2 to 4x the amount of women engaging with, consuming the ad, reading the full ad copy, which is where our offer should be, getting pre-qualified. So 2 to 4x for the same ad spend. And we're also going to talk about another phenomena, ads burning out, which actually relates to this hidden metric that almost everyone misses, unique CTR all. This is how many women out of 100 click and engage with our ad. AKA, it's kind of like how many women out of 100 is our ad relevant to. So this, I also kind of sometimes hits our relevance score of our ad. But after fixing ads, fixing some of these mistakes, you can see the results I've gotten here. And all right, let's get into it with ZSAD. Well, actually, first, when boudoir photographers have been running ads for a long time, something that's coming up a lot is ads just kind of do worse and worse over time. Same ad spend, doing worse and worse over time. And for boudoir photographers that are running ads on their own, this makes them feel desperate. They're kind of like, oh man, what's happening again? It's happening again. What do I got to change to do to fix this? So they do the only thing that they can think of to do, which is just refresh their creative. Well, it's kind of what they've heard is normal. Refresh the creative, refresh the creative. But it kind of keeps happening in every ad. It kind of starts out good, but then dies, decays, and they got to refresh with a new creative kind of pretty regularly. And they're thinking it's normal, but it's actually not. And we'll get to that in a little bit. But the second case, is if they have an ad agency doing this. So the ad agency, they're paying a bunch of money to the ad agency every month, and then they're paying the same kind of ad costs every month, same ad spend, but they're getting worse and worse results every month. So they're like, what the heck? Why am I still paying this ad agency when they probably already gave me, their best ads up front to get me hooked? So I keep paying them monthly, and those ads are, still in my account, and I can just take them and roll with them solo. And why would I keep paying them to keep giving me worse and worse results over time, and they're not really, having anything that sustains and scales? So ad sign is not normal, even though it's kind of what we're seeing. It's actually a symptom of a deeper root cause, which is all these 10 mistakes are resulting in this root cause, which is when our ads go to the initial women, we need to get good ad metrics, good ad conversions from the first tranche of women our boudoir Facebook ads go to. Because once that tranche is done and Facebook ad algorithm sucks in that data, that conversion data, that ad metric data, if it's not good, our ads go to kind of worse meta profiles for tranche 2. So we're going to do same ad spend for tranche 2, less results. And then those less results plow back into the meta ad algorithm. And for tranche 3, our ads go to even worse and worse meta profiles, which you guessed it, results in, same ad spend, even more worse results. So this is what we call the downward spiral of despair of boudoir Facebook ads. It's when the metrics and the results initially from tranche 1 stunk, and Meta's like, all right, this ad is not providing a good user experience to our people, so we're going to go to send this ad to the less qualified profiles, because we don't want to give the users on our platform a bad user experience. Conversely, if we fix these mistakes, get good ad metrics from the jump and good results from the jump, our ads go to higher quality meta profiles in tranche 2, 3, 4, and beyond, which means same ad spend, better results, and then even better results, and then even better results, which is same ad spend, more results. Over time, ad sustains and scales and lasts much longer. So these 10 mistakes I'm going to talk about today are the basically result in this ad dying out. If the mistakes are made, the ad's dying out, the worse and worse results over time. It's going to be these 10 mistakes I'm talking about today. So first one out of 10, first mistake out of 10 is, does it look like an ad? And to do that, we look at the creative. Does it have text on it? All right, this one looks like an ad because it has text on it. And this is a mistake because as women are scrolling by things that have text on it, I mean, it's obviously an ad people want to be sold to. We need to make the ad look as organic as possible to get the highest possibility that someone consumes it and, decides to read through, decides to engage. But when everyone's gone by, the data that's going into the meta ad algorithm is, oh, this ad is not relevant to anyone. Bad ad, low, and we're getting low quality leads, more tire kickers, more price hunters, lower booking rate, lower show up rate to the sales call, lower call close rate, lower conversions, lower sales, lower revenue, feeding back into the meta ad algorithm. Tranche 2 profiles going to be worse than Tranche 1 profiles. Worse and worse results, downward spiral of despair of our Boudoir Facebook ad. All right, the next 4 mistakes that can happen are up here in the See More headline. It's the first 2 3/4 lines on Facebook mobile, which is where more than 90% of our impressions will be shown. And we know that by in the top right of our Facebook Ads Manager, at the top right of the columns, we choose breakdown by placement. And then in the bottom left, there's an arrow we can click up for, on the summary row down at the bottom. And then, it's going to say Facebook mobile feed, more than 90% of the impressions will be there. So we need 4 specific attributes here in the See More headline. And this is the real battleground. This is where 80% of ad spend is won or lost. And that's because, well, honestly, it might even be more because, 100 out of 100 women will see the See More headline. A great See More headline will bring in 6 to 9%. The See More headlines I've been seeing of like normal Boudoir Facebook ads, probably 2 to 3%. Women are clicking See More to read the rest of their ad copy. So actually, the See More headline is actually where 95% of ad spend is won or lost. Kind of looking at the, so we're just kind of comparing the amount of women that will not be clicking through. They will not be clicking See More to open up the rest of the ad copy like I did right there. So this is where 95% of ad spend is won or lost right here, this first 2 3/4 line. So we need to pack maximum relevant context in here to set the stage to bring in call on the right people and have the right people read our ad copy. So 4 specific attributes we need up top. First one is the who. Who are we speaking to? What is their self-label that when they're scrolling, they say, hey, that's me, cause them to scroll back up to read the rest of our See More headline and see if it's for them to then click See More. So do we have a who here? Yes, we do. Vancouver ladies. Good. We got better ways to write this, but all right, at least we got the specific attribute, the who. So Vancouver ladies, if they identify as that, scroll and scroll and scroll. Oh, hey, that's me. Scroll back up. Let's see what they got. Good. So we're calling in a more specific person. I feel like it's more for them. Gonna read our ad, higher chance to read our full ad copy, higher chance to get fully pre-qualified, and higher qualified lead, more qualified leads, more qualified book calls, more qualified sales calls, more bookings, more sales, more revenue, more conversions. All of that feeds back into the meta ad algorithm to go to tranche 2 and get higher quality meta profiles off rip. And guess what? That results in same ad spend, better results over time, which results in even more better results over time. Same ad spend, even more results. Ads that sustain and scale the business. Do not need to refresh creative. All right, so that's the first specific attribute in the See More headline. The second of the 4 specific attributes in the See More headline is a negative experience. Basically, what is a negative experience Vancouver ladies are going through right now in our city that they're saying in their brain that they want to get away from? And yes, we can test this. The data will tell us where to go. So what is a negative experience? And we always lead with the negative experience first. Here is why. Imagine, well, as humans, all humans are programmed to move from a negative experience, aka pain, to get back to normal, take an action to go from a negative to neutral, back to normal. at literally 100x the rate compared to the same human taking action, go from normal / neutral / no pain to some gain or some positive. There's literally 100x difference in the probability between these two. Think of us going to the dentist. So we go to the dentist, get our 6-month teeth cleaning checkup done, and then we are at the front desk talking to the ladies there. We're paying, and the secretary lady's like, "Hey, are you free 28 Mondays from now at 7 a.m.?" And we're like, "Dude, I literally got no clue. I got no idea. But contact me, closer to then when I know my schedule, and so then I know if I can fit something in or not." So they put us on the auto texter. They're auto texting us month 3, month 4, month 5. We're ignoring them. We're busy running our business, flow state. We like our schedule. We like the time we're waking up. And month 6 comes and goes, and we do not get the checkup. We don't get the 6-month cleaning. We don't get the checkup. And, we never put the dentist on the calendar. Now, why is that? It's because the gain or the positive that we can get from putting the dentist on the calendar, disrupting our schedule, focusing on something else, not focusing on the business, they ain't big enough for us to take an action. It's not enough gain for us to want to take an action. And our mouth's fine, teeth's fine. We're busy. We got other more important things to deal with. So then month 8, month 10, month 12 roll around. They're still getting the auto text. We're still ignoring them. And month 12 passes, and guess what? We missed the second 6-month tooth cleaning. And again, for the same reason, just not enough positive, having slightly cleaner teeth, and some peace of mind that we do not have have any cavities. It's just those two A/B gains. Again, they're not big enough to get us to break our habits, break our schedule, break our normal routine, and pencil the dentist in. All right, then we go to the end of month 13. We're eating breakfast, and we got pain with every bite. Pain. The right side, the bottom right side of our mouth in the back, those molars back there. Pain in our tooth every time we chew. Pain in our jaw. Like, man, this is terrible. This is a terrible experience eating right now. So then we go the rest of the morning to lunch, and our teeth and our teeth back there, and our jaws hurting, even though we're not chewing anything. So we get to lunch, and we're like, all right, I'm going to chew the food on the left side of my mouth. I chew the food on the left side. Some goes over to the right side because of muscle memory. And yes, pain, but there's still pain chewing on the left side too, just a little bit less than if we're chewing on the right side. Just because we're still moving the right side of our jaw up and down, even if no food's over there. So I'm like, all right, this is awful. I can't even finish my lunch. It's going to hurt the rest of the afternoon. Probably won't be able to eat dinner, probably won't be able to sleep. So we said, all right, I got to get this solved. I cannot live like this. So we're calling up our dentist that same afternoon. We're like, talking to them. We're like, what? What do you mean you can't get me in at 7:20 a.m. tomorrow? This thing's killing me. And they're like, hey, we're booked 2 weeks out right now. We can put you on the cancellation list, though, and let you know if somebody cancels. And we're like, dude, no way. I got to get this solved ASAP. This is too much to deal with right now. So we hang up on them, and we call every other single dentist in our city. And like, hey, can you get me in tomorrow morning? Can you get me in tomorrow morning? Can you get me in tomorrow morning? And finally, we got a dentist that says, yes, we can get you in tomorrow morning. So we barely slept at all, like, too much pain in our tooth. We come in, they do the x-rays, they find the problem, super big cavity in one of our molars back there. So they clean it out. They fill it with the resin stuff. They put the UV pen hard in it. Make sure it's the right height for our tooth. Put that whatever that paper in there to see and have us bite down on it. See if there's our tooth is too high actually, and we leave the dentist. Wow, look at that, no more pain. Eating food, no more pain. We're like, yes, finally, dude, back to normal, back to my no pain state. All right, so there were two different scenarios there. The first one, literally 13 months, potential gain, well, guaranteed gain, guaranteed gain, clean your teeth, guaranteed gain, peace of mind, knowing that all either had no cavities or they've all been solved. And for 400 days, it was not enough to get us to take an action and pencil the dentist in that guaranteed gain from going to the dentist. However, just 1 day with pain, literally 1 day with pain, and we are taking massive action, putting, calling up every single dentist, putting somebody on the calendar. We're guaranteeing someone's getting on the calendar because we cannot live with this pain. So in this scenario, 400 days for a gain, no action, 1 day with pain, massive action. So in this case, literally 400x the probability that we take an action to move from pain or from a negative situation to back to neutral, back to normal, compared to from neutral / normal / no pain to some gain. Literally 400x. So this is why we always lead with a negative. It's how all human psychology works. We're much wired to avoid pain, avoid loss, than gain a positive, gain pleasure, and gain a gain. All right, so Vancouver ladies ready to celebrate you. All right, so we're missing negative here. We're not calling it specific women that the negative is relevant to. So we're gonna have less qualified women reading through. Gonna be less bookings, less qualified leads, less qualified call bookings, more price hunters, more Groupon level clients. They're not going to feel like we're specifically for them. They're going to be price shopping, comparing us with everyone else. And that's going to, less sales, less conversions, all feeding into the meta ad algorithm, making our ads go to worse and worse prospects over time, which means we've entered the downward spiral of despair, just from the initial metrics and results of our ads with the first tranche. All right, so the second thing we want in our specific attributes up in the See More headline, or the third thing, is a positive. So what are Vancouver women saying, some they don't want, they want to get away from, and they want to cross the bridge, use some solution to get this other positive thing as well. What are women saying in their brain that they do want that is a result of our solution? Celebrate you. Nah, that's solution. We're gifting 50, not much context there. So yeah, we're missing the positive as well. So we're missing the negative positive tension, kind of mental contrast, that starts to gain us, real specificity and real kind of brain market dominance. And so again, women are scrolling by, they're feeling we're less for them. So keep scrolling, so we're going to get less people engaging with the ad, less qualified leads, less qualified sales call bookings, less qualified sales call show-ups, more ghostings, less conversations, less women feel like we're specifically for them, and less sales, less revenue, less conversions, all feeding back into the meta ad algorithm, resulting in our ads going to lower quality meta profiles for tranches 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on, which means same ad spend, worse and worse results over time, aka ads burning out, ads dying out, refresh creative. All right, the fourth and final thing we want to see more headline is a hesitation / roadblock. So we got, Vancouver women want to get away from this negative, get over to the other side of the river and get this positive other thing. But then there's some hesitation, like where they use a bridge or a boat to cross the river, our solution, or maybe our specific bridge versus someone else's specific bridge, comparing different boudoir photographers. There's some hesitation, some reason they're not going to move forward. It's basically an objection in their head. And so we're missing that here. So we're missing the triangle of mental tension, which is like super specificity, People have never been spoken to as specific as we are speaking to them now in our ad. And yes, we can test all these specific attributes, and the data will tell us which ones to use. And so we don't need to be mind readers. We can start testing being a mind reader, but the data will tell us where to go. And yeah, so women are not feeling like we're talking specifically to them, so a lot are scrolling by. The few that do click see more, see more to read our body copy, they're they're again not feeling like it's for them. Less qualified leads coming through, less qualified bookings, more tire kickers, more price hunters, more price comparers, more budget hunters, Groupon clients, more ghostings, less qualified sales calls, less sales, less conversions, feeds back into the meta ad algorithm. We go to future tranches of worse and worse meta profiles off rip based off our bad initial data and results from our ads. And same results, or same ads and worse and worse results over time, ads dying out, ads burning out, refresh creative and kind of redo the entire downward spiral of despair playbook again without addressing the true root cause, which I'm addressing here with these mistakes, and we're all learning. So we have better ads, and actually it's better for the women in our city too, because we're going to get more of them to come with us, and they're going to get away from the negative experience that they don't want. They're going to get more of this other thing that they do want, and we're going to overcome kind of these internal hesitation / objectives that they're thinking. So this is way better for the women in our city too. Everyone's happier when we get this right. Our business and our clients and the women in our city. So that's why we got to get this right. All right, so let's see more headline. 4 specific attributes: a who, a negative, a positive, a hesitation / roadblock. Now the next thing is the body copy. This is where the next 3 mistakes can land. So this is the body copy. ... See more. Here's the body copy. Now they were scrolling fast, and we got them hooked, on the see more headline up here, which is where 95% of ad spend is won or lost. And yeah, that's sentence 1. Their brain was fast, then we slowed it down to fast scrolling, then still pretty fast scrolling, but they stop in red. And now we completely stop their brain, and they click ... See more, and now they get this massive wall of text. So we hooked them with our hook 1, but now we actually have to give them a hook 2, a reason to keep reading. Why should they keep reading? Why should they listen to us? So we need to do an authority hook here, a reason they should keep reading. I did an authority hook at the beginning of this video, and my average 2 to 4x of me kind of taking other boudoirs I'm seeing, fixing them up, testing them, and comparing the results. That is why you should listen to me, why you should listen to these mistakes I'm talking to y'all about. Because I bet my unique CTRLs are better than any unique CTRLs in the boudoir industry anyone else has ever seen. Because I had to do that. And all right, so do we have an authority hook here? Blah, 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 blah. Look at this. All right, hold on. I'm reading this. Strips away self-doubt. Negative. That's got to be in the See More headline. Reveals your most confident self. All right, look at that. Getting rid of a negative on one side of the river and getting this other different positive by crossing over the river. And this second and third positive, capturing strength, capturing beauty. This is what needs to be in the See More headline. You got it right here. Now we also need to test these to see which wording, which phraseology resonates most with the women in our market, because we got to help them more, so more women in our city are happy and getting away from what they don't want, self-doubt, getting more of what they do want, most confident self, capturing their strength, capturing their beauty. This is the See More headline, but you got it after the See More. And guess what? The See More headline, 100 out of 100 women are going to see it. Down here, most boudoir photographers have a unique CTRL of 2 to 3%, so only 2 to 3 out of 100 women are seeing this. We got to move this up top, so 100 out of 100 women see it. What's that? We're 50xing the amount of women we're exposing these specific attributes to? Yes, we got to move this stuff up top. And yeah, so yeah, we're learning here. We'll We'll get everyone's ads rolling good. All right, so do we have an authority hook here? Nope. So less reason for people to keep reading, less reason for basically women to listen to us, become pre-qualified. So we're getting less qualified leads, less, basically less qualified bookings, less qualified sales calls, less show-ups, less conversions, less sales, all feeding back into the meta ad algorithm, which means our ads go to worse and worse tranches of prospects over time, and which means off rip, same ad spend, worse results over time, because our ads are going to worse and worse meta profiles over time because of our initial ad metrics and results. Ad burns out, refresh creative. Ad dies out, refresh creative, downward spiral of despair. All right. Next thing, second thing we need to have in the body copy is a story/narrative. This is our punch 2. So our punch 1 is up here, Seymour headline, which now we're learning this stuff here. This stuff is perfect to be in the Seymour headline. Perfect. You just gotta know how to write it correctly, phrase it correctly. But so punch 1 up here, the Seymour headline. We're meeting the women in the conversation they're having in their brain to get them to click see more, because 100 out of 100 women will see the see more headline. And when we come down, so we want women to say, oh my God, that's exactly what been saying to myself I want. And then they click see more, they read the rest of our ad copy. We need to have a story/narrative here, basically like a movie scene, write out, line by line, what's going on in their life, what they're thinking, what they're feeling, what's happening, kind of like I did with the, dentist example. So that's us to show we understand what they're going through and so that we can empathize, which I also did talking about. Boudoir photographers running ads on their own, feeling desperate, their ads keep burning out, or stressed and desperate at their boudoir agency they're paying a ton of money to every month to get worse and worse results every month. So that's more empathizing there, kind of describing the movie scene. But this is to show we understand them. And we need to get this 1-2 punch right, because then we become a market of one to the specific women in our city that we're speaking to about this. And we need to get super specific and win this 1-2 punch, because when women click and engage with one boudoir ad, literally just clicking the ... see more or liking it or anything, dude, they're getting hit with 20 more boudoir Facebook ads on Facebook and Instagram that day from all of our competitors. And if we're not specific, we're just general and broad, they're going to say, oh, well, everyone else is general and broad in their ads as well that I'm seeing today. I'm just going to pick the lowest price. Price hunters, Groupon people. They're only Groupon people because they don't feel like we're specifically for them. If they felt we're specifically for them, they would be paying higher prices, because it would be they wouldn't be able to price compare us to anyone because they don't feel like anyone is for them, because no one else has gotten as specific in their ads, unless they've been working with me, to make them feel and show that we are the only option for them. And so we're missing the story/narrative, so we're going to have less women feeling like we're specifically for them, less women who become pre-qualified and then click through, less qualified leads, less qualified sales, less qualified book calls, less revenue, less sales, less conversions, all feeding back into the meta ad algorithm. Our ads go to worse and worse prospects over time for tranche 2, which, just off rip, it's going to give us worse conversions, and over time, same ad spend, worse results, which feeds into itself again, downward spiral of despair, ads burn out, refresh creative. All right, the third and final thing we need in the body copy is our full offer. Now, the reason why we need the full offer is because the second most important purpose of our ad is to expose as many people to our offer with context as possible. So purpose number 1 is providing all the context, which is the Seymour headline, the authority hook, the story, the story/narrative, that's all providing all the context of who it's for, who our offer is for, and then we give the offer. So we gotta have the offer here, and yeah, professional hair, makeup prep, posing, guidance, coaching, flawless skin retouching, $500 product credit. Oh, look at that. Here's some authority. I have a little bit. What should I done sooner? Will you be next? Okay. That should be up higher. But yeah, we're all learning here. Apply now to win. All right, so we got the full offer here. Good. So we're gonna have more women coming through that want this thing or solution, which is a bonus. We're gonna have less women that click see more, they read it, and they scroll on by like, I don't want that. Good. That's a double bonus. So we do not want the wrong people clicking. We'll learn a little bit more of that in the next mistake. So good. We're gonna have more qualified leads coming through, more qualified consults, more qualified sales calls, more sales, more revenue, more conversions, all that data feeding back into the meta ad algorithm. Our ads will go to better quality meta profiles for tranche 2, which means same ad spend, better results tranche 2, which kind of churns into itself again, better and better for tranche 3. And so, then we are ad sustaining and scaling, same ad spend, better results over time. No need to refresh creative. All right, the final 2 mistakes happen here at the bottom of the ad. This is mistake number 9. So having any text below creative headline, description, button, having any text or button below the ad is always a mistake. 3 reasons why. Here's the first one. It's 5% of the reason for mistake 9 ties into mistake number 1. Any text down here or button makes it look more like an ad. There's no organic post, nobody's posting their dog or whatever, dog photo and having text or button underneath it. These are all ads. These are all ad. Makes it look like an ad. More women scrolling by, lowering kind of our initial ad metrics. Reason number 2 for mistake number 9, 15%, is when women are scrolling on their feed, Facebook news feed, they're seeing that, they're scrolling. By the time they get here and they're looking here in the bottom left, their subconscious has actually processed, like 1/4 to 1/3 of the words or word phrases up here. So, they saw Vancouver ladies, they saw celebrate, they saw gifting. They get back here and they're reading this text. Now, if the words are different at all, so we got Boudoir giveaway here. Dude, we don't have Boudoir here in this Seymour headline. Yeah, we ain't got giveaway. Well, we got gifting. But yeah, so when the words are not the same, it's going to trigger the error detection network automatically. Because remember, people are scrolling fast. They ain't looking for our stuff. They're not searching like on Google. They're kind of just chilling, scrolling. So we got to be able to capture them super fast with relevancy. And yeah, so the text doesn't match, triggers the error detection network, error, incongruent, confusion, keep scrolling, all happens automatically. But even if the ad was perfectly the same, or the text was perfectly the same, still ties into mistake number 1, ad beneath the text beneath the creative makes it look more like an ad. So yeah, that's reason number 2 for mistake number 9. Now reason number 3 for mistake number 9, having any text or button below the creative, is 80% of the reason it's a mistake. For mistake number 9 is it gives women the opportunity to click down here and go to where we want them to go without first forcing them to click ... see more to become pre-qualified. So they're all coming over unqualified. Here's why that's a problem. When the meta ad algorithm decides who to send our ad to next, some of the data pools that it pulls the data from is pool 1, who has converted on the ad so far, and what are the similarities in data points, data attributes, between everyone's meta profiles. And let's go find future meta profiles that have those similar or close to data attributes as well. So but that's a small pool if those are people that converted. Pool 2 is the much bigger pool. It does the same thing, but just for people that clicked on the ad, whether they converted or not. So they clicked to go to the next page. So the ad was relevant enough or enticing enough for people to click. which normally CTR link is just like, 1 to 2%. Just 1 out of 100 or 2 out of 100. But Meta's doing the same thing in pool too. It's pulling all the data profiles of everyone who clicked, finding the similarities and kind of, weighting, putting a weight on their algorithm toward finding profiles in the future that have those same data attributes on their meta profiles, out of kind of all the millions of data points Meta has in her profiles. Now the problem is this pool 2 is like 10 to 50x bigger than pool 1. So the clickers is 10 to 50x bigger than the converters. So we're weighting the meta ad algorithm with, guess what? Data points from non-qualified profiles who never converted. So we got a lot of non-qualified clickers, and obviously they didn't convert. But the fact that they clicked, Meta's taken their data attribute profile into account as stuff to look for, but they come through here at the bottom. They didn't become pre-qualified to see if we were for them or not, because if they read and they saw we weren't for them, they would just scroll on by, which is what I set up above, mistake number 8. That's the reason we have the offer here. We want them to scroll on by, because we're biasing. If they click before becoming pre-qualified, we're biasing the algorithm to go towards unqualified people. All right, so that's mistake number 9. Now mistake number 10 is objective. Now I do not know what objective is being used here. Let's see, we got fb.me. Yep, fb.me, which that's a lead form. And yeah, lead objective is the most common that I've seen with Boudoir photographers. But here's why it's always, always, always a mistake. Lead objective is always, always, always a mistake, because when we choose our objective, and we're targeting all the women in our city, whatever, age 25 to 65 plus. When we choose our objective, Meta chooses a 6% slice of the women that we're targeting, our entire city. And that 6% slice is, like the 95th percentile plus of the meta profiles that are most likely to fill out a lead form and, also respond to ad with these keywords in it, because Meta is seeing like what we're reacting to, where we stop our scroll to read a post, or also always listening through the microphone of our phone, or talking with friends, even if we're not on the Facebook, Instagram app. So all the keywords that we're actually saying when we're speaking out loud, Meta and Instagram are actually recording those keywords on our profiles. So basically we're optimizing our ads to go to people that fill out lead forms, so form filler outers. The problem with this is we're optimizing for form filler outers. We're not optimizing for those who fill out forms and then answer our text calls or emails. We're not optimizing for form filler outers who also book a call, show up to a call. And we're not optimizing for form filler outers who buy. And yes, there's going to be small dustings of those form filler outers, tiny percentage who, yes, they will answer our phones, texts, and emails. Yes, they will. A few others will. Yes, book a call, show up to a call. And yes, even a smaller few still will fill out the form and eventually buy something. But we want buyers. So let's simply target and show our ads to buyers in the first place, people who buy stuff. Because if they're not buyers, basically by using leads objective, leads is a non-buyer kind of data attributes on the profile. We're saying, please Meta, send me to the non-buyers, give me more non-buyer leads. I want to fill my email list with non-buyers. Yes, give me the $1, $1.50, $2.50, $3 non-buyer leads. I need those low-cost leads, even though only like 1 out of 100 or 2 out of 100 will buy. And, let's say it's $1 per lead, takes 100 leads for us to get someone to buy. And, that's a $100 CAC, $100 CPA. But if we got more specific, better objective, we get $10 leads, or $10 cost per form fill out, whatever. But we close 1 out of every 2. So it's $20 CAC, $20 CPA, cost per acquisition, $20 cost to acquire a customer, $20 CAC, instead of $100 CAC using the leads objective. So we're going to get fewer leads, fewer wasted time, higher cost leads, but lead cost is always a mistake to care about at all. It's all about CAC at the end of the day, CPA, CAC. How much ad spend did we spend to get one client? That's literally all. That's the only number that matters. And how much LTV, what's that customer profit they're worth to us over their lifetime. That's literally the only numbers that matter. So that is why we never ever want to use lead objective. Because yeah, it just brings in less conversions, less sales, feeds back in the meta ad algorithm, ads go to worse and worse quality prospects over time. AKA same ad spend, worse and worse results over time as the ad goes on. Ad dies out, ad burns out. A refresh creative, just refresh the downward spiral of death playbook, or downward spiral of despair playbook over and over. All right, so let's give a full score here out of 10 compared to the rest of the Boudoir industry. So let's see, looks like an ad. So that's mistake 1. We got a who, missing a neg, missing a positive, missing a hesitation / roadblock. All right, moving into the ad copy, missing an authority, missing a story / narrative. We got the full offer, good. We got, below creative headline, description, and button. That's a mistake. And then half a mistake for the objective. I actually do not know what objective is being used. So we got 7.5 out of 10 mistakes. And so we got 7.5 out of 10 mistakes today. And the average for the boudoir industry is 7.5 out of 10 mistakes. All right, so we're right on the average. Not standing out, not really out competing anyone with our ads today. We do want to get more specific so we can, actually help more women get away from what they don't want, get what they do want, overcome hesitations, and gives us more sales, more sustainable, grow the business by us being more specific. And I consider any boudoir Facebook ad that has more than 2 out of 10 mistakes to be a breaking down boudoir Facebook ad, performing worse and worse over time. And if we have a car that's breaking down, it's performing worse and worse over time, where do we bring the car? We're bringing the car to a car mechanic. Okay, so if we bring the car to a car mechanic, what the heck do we, car that's breaking down, car mechanic, what do we do for a boudoir Facebook ad that's breaking down? Yes, we bring it to a boudoir Facebook ad mechanic. So if we want to, fix these mistakes and get better sustaining ads, higher ROAS, scale the business, then we do have a, we're going through all these mistakes. I do have a boudoir Facebook ad mechanic offer to fix this stuff today. Kind of got 2 different options. And I'll give a quick diagnosis and price quote. And I've already shown, yes, I can basically 2 to 4x the amount of women consuming the ad copy, becoming pre-qualified, consuming our offer at the beginning of this video. So yeah, I know how to fix these mistakes. Now I squished down the 10 mistakes into 5 root cause problems. So let's go through these 5. So we got looks like an ad, root cause problem 1. See more headline needs 4 out of 4 attributes. We got 1 out of 4. So root cause problem 2, we need a new see more headline. Body copy, we got 1 out of 3 portions of it. So that's root cause problem number 3 is the body copy. Stuff below the ad creative, that's root cause problem 4, below creative headline, description, and button. And then root cause problem 5, well, I don't know if we have that, that's the objective. So we'll give it half a root cause problem. So that's 4.5 out of 5 root cause problems. And so if you want to get these fixed, option 1 is I charge $50 per root cause problem I fix. And you can choose, either 1 or the maximum, and I fix it for 1 ad. And yes, you can take those fixes to go to all your other ads. So kind of the highest cost would be 4.5 times 50, so $225. So again, the goal is to get 2 to 4x more women consuming the ad, which will probably bring in more sales. Or option two, the much higher value option is you can fix all the mistakes on all your ads and create as many new ads as you want for the month. $100 per month. Cancel anytime. $100, and we can collab as much or as little as you want. So yeah, those are two offers. And you got my phone number, you got my email, and also whatever social platform we're on. You can DM me as well when you decide what you want to do. Then when you hit me up, I'm gonna ask you, what you got for me, and then we'll go from there. All right, that's everything. Adios.